I don't like watching sports, including esports. Frankly, I'd rather play the game myself than watch someone else get the rush of adrenaline that I enjoy. So when Overwatch League was introduced, I picked out a team skin that I found aesthetically pleasing for a character I didn't have many skin options for at the time, and tuned out everything else about it. However, I still hear tidbits about the pro Overwatch scene ever so often. It'll come up in regards to the rework Mercy movement, the stupid delete break thing, or the rare videos I see from Your Overwatch. Really, that last one is where I hear the most about the pro scene, and what prompted this response. In their video released on December 28th, Freedo brought up the recent Twitter controversy over the working conditions of pro esport players and gave some opinions on the matter. Rightfully so, he explains the real concern about how many hours pro players put into just keeping up with constantly changing meta, because unlike in traditional sports like football or soccer, a character type with specific mechanics that you specialize in could become utterly useless after a patch meant to balance the game out for regular players. Suddenly, you need to learn a whole new character or hope you're already competent enough at someone else in order to keep your job. And it's not like these literally game-changing alterations come in only the off-seasons. That'd only be reasonable. No, as a pro player, you can be in the middle of your season and suddenly your biggest contribution to your team becomes irrelevant. Even as a pro, it takes time to master or become competent at another character because of the different playstyles, unwritten rules, and roles that the character plays in different types of matches, and just having to develop the specific mechanical skills required. But what made me write this script, make this video, is how Freedo defends the system.
Now, I think the glaring counter-argument to all of this is that these players are professionals, and these claims of the sky is falling with player health is just sort of the norm with everything in the entertainment industry, which yes, esports is a part of.
The fact that these players are professionals does not earn them the supposed privilege to grind their lives and health away to even be able to perform their jobs. Yes, I see that he's making the argument that such work conditions are the nature of the job, but like how many people say sexism in anime is okay because a lot of anime has low-key sexism, that is not a justification. Even if they signed on knowing their lives would be hell, that does not excuse the businesses and the industry that created it. Relating this to traditional sports, this is like saying that the NFL shouldn't have to protect their players from injuries and concussions because those are just the risks of the job. The hardened leather for head protection was fine, and changing how they protected the athletes was unnecessary because it's the way it's always been. Not only that, but Freedo goes on to say that horrific work conditions is a problem shared by other competitive industries, like acting or YouTubing, again, as if that makes it any more okay. Such problems being prevalent in other lines of work only shows that we are letting history repeat by subjecting pro esports players to the same treatment. Not that their existence is acceptable. At one point, it was common to fire someone for demanding fair pay and compensation for on-the-job injuries. Does that make the practice right? And on top of that, he goes on to reduce the complaints here to just being hard work that is required of anyone in a competitive field.
Anyone in the public eye that has an awesome job, as an athlete or an actor or whatever, they have to work incredibly hard to be any good at the thing that they do. And there's a lot of sacrifice in order to achieve that.
Having to throw your life away to do the job that'll make you the happiest because the higher-ups don't care about your well-being isn't hard work. That's how you get the corporate culture that expects you to work infinite hours of overtime and shames you for valuing your health. Even if your occupation is something you love, you still need to step away from it at times. We have other needs besides making money to fulfill, like maintaining social relationships, keeping our bodies functional, and working on our mental health. Even if you're passionate about your job, you need to be able to turn off sometimes. Play video games for the fun of it without having to focus on how well you perform or if you're being entertaining in a stream. Why do you think so many people burn out? It's because of this expectation that you have to be willing to give everything to your career, lest you be seen as lazy or lose what little edge you have over the next big thing. It's only the people who've gained an insane amount of success who get to take days off. The worst part about his response for me personally is that Freedo so graciously reminds those complaining about the hardships of being a pro player that there are easier fields they can get into, that they could just go over to a career where they punch in and punch out at set times.
And with a lot of people worried about the esports industry essentially treating humans as disposable parts of the machine, I would remind everyone that there's many other much easier industries in the world to get into. So to the few people that do get themselves involved with these incredibly competitive industries, I think the reality is that if it doesn't work for you, try to do something else.
I can't even with this. Not only is this saying, if you don't like it, then quit, again asserting that we needn't, nay, shouldn't question why these conditions exist in the first place and anyone who does is just whining about the world not being perfect, but this hits home for me in relation to why I make videos. Part of it is slight narcissism. I love talking about my opinions and feeling like an authority on the media I enjoy. It's reassuring to find people who agree with me and exciting to see people discuss what I specifically have to say. I'm not used to feeling like I matter, and the audience I've built over my short time on YouTube constantly assures me of my worth. Even the people who fight my every word because it shows that they think I'm important enough to debate. But I mainly do this because nothing else will make me happy. I hate having a 40 or more hours a week schedule, having to be out of the house at times that I don't get to choose. Having to interact with people at all wears on me, and while I could get into coding or other similar techie fields where I hardly talk to anyone, that's not what I'm interested in. I'm already working a job that, while has a decent environment, how much I socialize is limited, and is pretty easy for me to succeed in, I don't enjoy it. Every time I go in, it's to work towards someone else's dream because I don't like the field enough to seek advancements in it. It's also always with the understanding that I'm not putting anything new into the world. Every day is the same, and tomorrow I'll be doing everything I did today all over again. Yes, I can feel that way a lot in video making, but at least I'm talking about something new every time. Working basically any other job would feel to me like making the exact same video the exact same way every day for the rest of my life. And until we eliminate death by natural causes, I only have a limited amount of time to live, and I want to spend my time not being utterly miserable. I cannot work any other job and be happy. I'd only move on to something like coding because it makes a lot of money, but money can only buy the therapist to address my declining mental health, not boost my well-being. I value money insofar as it allows me to access the things that I want out of life, like being able to not worry about if I can afford to live. Earning prospects is not why I'm pursuing YouTube. And I think it's safe to say it's not why most people become pro gamers or athletes. There's something fulfilling in those careers, something that they can't get anywhere else that makes the work and training feel worth it. So, to tell them and people like me who wouldn't be happier elsewhere to just quit if the job grates on us because it needs fixing is akin to saying that what we want out of our lives is worthless. That the fact that these industries have endured for sometimes centuries is more important than the people who keep them alive. There would be no esports without pro players. So we need to make sure that they're protected from higher ups who only see them as money magnets. Even if there are a dozen people who could take one player's place, there is still a moral and ethical responsibility to make sure they can do their jobs in a healthy manner. It comes with the territory, means you think they deserve whatever they get. As a YouTuber yourself, I'd expect more empathy and understanding from you, Freedo. It's one thing to be hopeless about the garbage world around you, but it's another and more despicable thing to defend its existence. Even though I've chosen to host my videos on YouTube, I can't ignore the fact that YouTube does a terrible job of making sure you see the content that you're subscribed to. So if you actually want to follow the things that I make, use this invite link to my Discord channel. There you can follow my content stream, talk to me in my NotAVampyre crypt, and you can also find me on Twitter at NotAVampyre. Thank you for consuming this video, and until next time.